Go First, which went into voluntary insolvency proceedings just about a month ago. And now it looks like the cancellations are set to continue. We've been hearing news about them getting a 400 crore rupee plus fund infusion, and that they could take to skies as soon as the month of July. But now we understand the cancellations are going to continue up until at least the 30th of June, isn't it, Kartik?
That's right. And the takeoff plans that were slated for the month of July also seem to get delayed further. If not delayed beyond July, then definitely not happening in the first 15 days of July from what I see, not that it's been reported.
So go ahead, book your tickets because the rates are not going to change much up until the middle of July.
Don't wait. So I think the challenge continues to be that the Committee of Creditors has given an in-principle approval to the roughly 450 crores or so expected as fresh infusion and fresh loan into Go First for it to resume operations. And these operations were to be resumed on the back of 78 sectors flown by 22 aircraft. Right. That's the kind of fleet available and the space available for Go First to operate. But it was expected to have received the nod from the board of directors, the bank boards, and these banks include Bank of Baroda, Central Bank of India and IDBI Bank. And that approval from the board has not come because they've gone back to the IRP, Shailendra Ajmera, and said that we need a viable plan. We need a business viable plan, and the plan apparently that has been drafted, we don't have access to that plan, does not seem to meet the viability requirement of the bank boards. And remember, it's only after the bank boards agree to infuse further 450 odd crore rupees into Go First, which already has a loan book of about 6,500 crore rupees. So this is going to take it up to about 7,000 crore rupees in terms of loans. Only then will DGCA give approval. So that expectation from the bank's boards was that the in-principle nod from the Committee of Creditors would translate into a formal approval from the board of the banks, but that approval has not come, and it's back in the court of the IRP, the interim resolution professional, Mr. Shailendra Ajmera, to draw up the business model, draw up the financial viability plan and the business viability plan, and present that to the boards of the banks to seek further infusion, which may eventually help the airline take off. But from what I see, it's going to be on the runway, if not in the hangars, for the foreseeable future.
Oh, goodness me. Rakesh ji, we've been tracking this story for a while now. Looks like there is no relief in sight for the domestic air passenger.
Well, I mean, I think, you have to connect the dots. There is a certain trajectory that has been outlined for Go First. I have been arguing from day one that, it will have a takeoff. It will get delayed. Maybe a little more delay, but that's short term. Medium term to long term, I think the entire ecosystem is invested in the idea of having more airlines in the country. You look at what CCI has done today. It has sent a notice apparently to Tatas and Vistara, and on Air India piece on duopoly and monopoly charges. So there is merit that the entire ecosystem builds one more airline, and Go First is the right candidate. And it have had its own challenges. It's getting delayed, but that infusion by creditors shows an intent which will get materialized. I think the big story also to track in the aviation sector is the notice to the impending merger between Tata and Air India, Tata, Vistara and Air Asia. It's a bit complex, too many brands, but essentially leading to one big airline happening. I have yet to read the notice, but I really don't see any play for CCI to play spoil sport here. I mean, Air India was in the government hands; it's been sold to Tatas, and when you create problems there, I mean, I'm all for regulation, as we pointed out in the case of Byju's, lightweight, light touch regulation. But if you stall that process, imagine Singapore International Airlines has been trying to come to India. When Ghulam Nabi Azad was the civil aviation minister, then Jet Airways was playing spoiled sport. So if it's finally made a decision to invest some 25% or 21.5%, I don't remember the number, in this, in Vistara, and then, in the ultimate acquired combined entity, CCI's intervention might be, a tad bit irritating for Singapore Airlines. And we lose a potential wonderful airline to join the Indian skies if, CCI protracts it beyond a certain basic hygienic inquiry. And it's also important to point out and cite that in 2013, CCI itself did allow, I think about 20%, or I don't remember the number, equity by Etihad Airways in Jet Airways, saying that this set of percentage is not going to imperil and create a monopolistic structure. So either the entire ecosystem thinks hard, and brings about some big ticket, deep pocket players, say for instance, Reliance Industries, which has so far shied away from, getting into aviation. ITC at one point wanted to get into aviation. I have reported those stories, but these big ticket players have not come into aviation. And what has happened on the contrary is that some medium to small level players like East West, Damania, Modi Luft, all those players came and didn't have the, it's not for the aviation business is not for the faint hearted. So they had bad business models. Only Vijay Mallya had the so to say the capital and the appetite to do it. But as we have discovered now, post event, that the model was flawed. We are in the business of transportation in time, safely from point A to point B. It's not a business of luxury. So that came to the detriment of Kingfisher. I mean, that's an idea which even the bankers that time bought, because they felt that, aviation is being reimagined in the skies. But what happened, it followed a certain established pattern of the airline going bust and inability to, go ground. So that's where Indigo stands up and now 17 years, or and a creditable track record, now getting into the profitable zone. So Go First must go up in the sky as fast as possible.
Yeah, we are in fact running visuals of flights of aircraft taking to the sky, in hope and fingers crossed that we have Go First taking to the sky as soon as possible, and more airlines taking to the sky, so that our ticket prices come down to some kind of sane levels. We're paying Bangkok, Dubai rates to go travel within this country, for God's sake. So that's the reason why we're even on the story all the time, so that you consumers know exactly how much you'll be paying for your flight.